In the previous video, we introduced integers. Today, we want to focus on positional integers. So our objective is to use integers in a practical real life or real world situation. So a positional integer is a number that can be found on the number line. So we look at these children that are in this image. 3 of them are above the ground and 3 of them are on the ground. Those 3 that are on the ground are considered to be at 0, which would be at sea level. Those who are above the ground would have a position of elevation that is positive. As we look at these children here, all of them are underneath the water. So they are below sea level. They would all have a negative elevation. Of course, each elevation is different, as you can see. And so we want to investigate the numbers that go along with the sign positive or negative. So let's look at temperature. So we have positive 6 as a temperature. If you look at our vertical number line, which resembles a thermostat, this is where positive 6 would fall. It's above 0. Then we have minus 2. And if that was a temperature, it would be at negative 2, where that temperature would be below 0. So notice all of the numbers below 0 have a negative value. That means you're going down. And those above 0, you don't see a positive sign, but you don't have to put a positive sign when the value is positive. So let's look at these temperatures that was found on the U.S. map. This map was found from all the way back in 2014. And notice that this is a winter map. As you can see, the colors of blue and purple all show values where the temperatures have a minus sign in front of them. So let's focus on this 7 that we just made red. Where would I put this on the number line? So there you can see it's going to move all the way up. It's going to go above the 0, and it's going to land right there. And that state is Oklahoma. Now let's look at this negative 6. Of course, since it's a negative value, it needs to fall below 0. And there we go. And that state is South Dakota. So if you were to find a position on the number line, if you have a positive value, you're looking for numbers above 0. If you have a negative value, you're looking for numbers below 0. So of course, we have altitude, as we mentioned already. So if we needed to find 60 feet above the water, that would be this position right here. And if we needed to find 30 feet below the water, which is minus 30, that would, of course, be the position right here. Now, if someone asked you what minus 20 feet would be, of course, you would know that that's going to be below the water. So someone who's scuba diving at a depth of 20 feet is at a location 20 feet below the surface of the water. Here are some persons swimming in the Bahamas. They look like they're enjoying themselves. Those fish are still young. I don't think they're old enough to be caught yet. Of course, suppose we had a 206 feet elevation. And we actually have a place that is 206 feet above the water. The name of the place is called Como Hill. It's in Cat Island. And there used to be a monk by the name of Jerome that lived up there. And this is the highest point in the Bahamas. Como Hill in Cat Island. That is the highest elevation you can find yourself in the Bahamas while still having your feet on the ground. So let's consider someone that has $9. This represents an amount the person owns or possesses. So because the person has the $9, that means you have to move up to the 9 to get to that position. And you have another person that owes 7. Of course, they would need to repay it to maintain their dignity. And there's a lot of people in this world that don't have any dignity. I hope I'm not speaking to anyone in that fashion, but sometimes things happen. So you're going to go down to -7 to indicate that you owe the money. All right, so Philip checks his bank account and he discovers that there is $450 there. So his value would be positive 450. Henry, he adds up all his bills and he discovers that he owes a total of 225. And when he checks his account and his cash, he has nothing to pay at this time. So his net worth right now is a minus $225. So Ricardo has been working for 8 years. Let's look at time. We start counting up after an event starts. So 8 years is going to be positive. He's been working for 8 years. Trevor is expecting to eat his lunch in 9 minutes. That means that Trevor hasn't eaten yet. And as you count down, he's going to go from 9 to 8 to 7 to 6 and so on. So his current number is -9 because the event has not happened as yet. Okay. Melissa is excited because in 3 days she will be starting a new job. So her number would be -3. And Melinda is excited because she is celebrating her 10th birthday. And her number would be +10. We only focusing on how to find our position because we need to know both starting position and end position, and eventually we'll be looking at integers that have movement.